I'd like to welcome you to the High Desert Center Spiritual Living here in beautiful Apple Valley. We're going to open our service today with My Soul is Welcome Here by Daniel Niemod. Thank you, Chris. That was great. It's so nice to see all your shining, smiling faces this morning. We are an all-inclusive center of love, where we where we recognize and celebrate each person as a divine and unique expression of the one Spirit in all. Together, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone. We teach and embody the Science of Mind principles to support our core values of love, healing, spiritual growth, oneness, abundance, service, and diversity. Welcome home. Please join me in reading the opening community affirmation. It's in your program on the left-hand side. I believe in one power, one living spirit, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. I believe that Spirit expresses through me and is the unity of all life. I believe that all thought is creative and that how I choose choose to think creates my personal experience. Is there anyone joining us for the first time today? Welcome. We're so glad that you chose to join us today. Thanks for bringing your energy to our service. And any of you online that are watching for the first time, thank you for bringing your energy to our service. If you're here with us today and you've not received your welcome packet, you can receive one just outside the sanctuary door to your right. It includes a gift for you, so please visit our bookstore after service. Announcements for any upcoming events are in your program each week, along with daily affirmations to use. So please take it home with you. That colorful centerfold, it just pulls out. We recycle the white ones. There's a basket at the back. So we do have some verbal announcements today. Our new weekly Spiritual Living Circle discussion group meets on Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. via Zoom. All are welcome to join at any time. You can sign up at the concierge table and receive the Zoom link for the class, or for the discussion group. On Tuesdays, Tai Chi with Chris Ermston at 11:30 in the sanctuary right here. Share Yoga with Joe Caraveau is Thursdays at 11:30 in the sanctuary. And Joe has a prior appointment, so there may be a short delay on Thursday, but he will be here. So come on in. And we are so excited to be opening up for more activities at our beautiful center. We have sign-up sheets at the concierge table. We are developing a hospitality committee, and that's going to be planning for our refreshments after service and potlucks. We're working on a committee to plan the Mother's Day and Father's Day baked goods auctions and work that. I hear somebody cheering. Yay, we love our bake sales. A decorating committee to spruce up our facility. And did everybody notice the garden room? It was very spruced up, changed up a bit today. Very warm and welcoming. Thank you, decorating committee. And we have a book study on the book, Blue Collar Spirituality, facilitated by Frank St. Clair. Frank, come up and tell us about it.
It's very nice to be meeting back here in person. And one of the many things that's coming is going to be this book study that we're starting on Monday nights, 7 to 8:30, beginning April the 11th. Okay. You may remember Reverend Mike Morrow, who was here in November, talking about his book, Blue Collar Spirituality, A God That Works for Everyone. Well, I read the book, was very impressed. I've met with Mr. McMurrow quite a few times. And we're going to offer a facilitated book study, 6 weeks long. And we hope you'll come and join us. This is part of having live events here. It's not going to be on Zoom. And just keep in mind, a lot of people don't realize that Spirit is an active force and power within their life. And if they know how to use it, it is always available for them to improve the quality of their life. This is completely in line with what we teach here in Science of Mind. If you remember, Ernest Holmes always began his talks. There is a power in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it. So this book is right on target with that message. So we'd like you to join us. We have a sign-up sheet here in the social hall. The textbook, which you see here, is $10 plus tax, and you order it through Amazon. Look up Mike McMurrow, Blue Collar Spirituality. We won't be stocking these in the bookstore because you can get them from Amazon in 2 days or 3, much faster. But we hope you come and join us. Please sign up. We're looking to have at least a dozen to 18 people in the class, and it should be a lot of fun. So we look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you, Frank. Our Board of Trustees meeting is going to be today, right after the Sunday service, All are welcome, and it's going to be in our social hall today. Every Sunday, we share the vision for our new minister. We ask you to hold this vision with us throughout the week. Printed copies are available at the concierge table for you to take home as well. You can join me in reading this if you wish. Our purpose is unity. Our vision is to be a dynamic teaching center where we learn to experience the Spirit within us and to express our fullest potential in life. Our new minister is comfortable with shared leadership, accessible to our community, has humor, tact, and is kind. Our new minister is intelligent, a fine teacher of science of mind, an inspired speaker, and feeds us spiritually. Our new minister lives the science of mind with integrity, has a consciousness of abundance, is authentic and unbiased. Our new minister is enthusiastic while being emotionally mature, committed and connected to our community, and is wise in all of their affairs. Let's welcome our practitioner of the day, Lori Smith.
Please join me as we read Dr. Ernest Holmes' promises together. They are on the front page of your program. I keep the promise that I have made myself to affirm in this moment that I am abundant, healthy, strong, and happy. I keep the intention to daily speak this truth to my inner soul, telling it that it is wonderful and marvelous, that it is one with the great cause of life, truth, power, and action. I whisper these things into my soul until it breaks forth into songs of joy with the realization of its limitless possibilities. I assure my soul. And let us turn within as Chris shares In the Silence by Jack.
In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. As my heart opens up to the voice, I awake to these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said. And right here in this holy silence, I find God, I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. As my heart opens up to the voice, I awake to these precious moments, and I hear all that could never be said. And right here in this holy silence, I find God. I find God. I find myself.
we perform the Flames of Faith ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. The unity candle represents the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the first candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the second candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the third candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle, acknowledging all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the 10th candle for inclusivity, affirming that all are welcome here. And as Ellie Mae lights the healing candle, Ellie Ann lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light names of loved ones, knowing that they have the experience of Spirit's eternal love. And so I invite you at this time to go within, and you may close your eyes if you feel like you would like to. In this moment, in the silence of this space, there is this one infinite intelligence, one all-providing source. This is life. This is love. This is joy. This is peace. And this is right where we are. This power and presence is within each one of us. It is dynamic. It is energetic. It is vital. It is playful. It is joyful. And in this moment, and in this knowing, we open our awareness to the limitless possibilities when we move within to that higher place of wellness, wholeness, and possibilities. I accept all the good that is mine now. I am open, aware, able, capable, and thankful that I have everything I need through Spirit within. Knowing this, I just give thanks. I'm so grateful for this center and for everyone who makes it possible. The board, the sound room, the office staff, the bookstore, and your board of supervisors, board of directors, board of trust, thank you, and your practitioners who are here to serve and love you deeply. And let us lift Reverend Victoria and her message today, knowing that it's here to bless and guide and support us in all we do. I just release, let go, and let God. And together we say, and so it is.
beautiful. And now Chris is going to introduce himself and the special music.
Hi, today we have one for you called Give Me Love.
It is my great pleasure to introduce our speaker for today. I've had the pleasure of showing her around, and I really think we're in for a treat today. Reverend Victoria is the Minister of Transformation at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living, where she is exploring and developing ways they can serve the world. She is also Spiritual Director of Winged Spirit Focus Ministry and serves on the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee for Centers of Spiritual Living. She leads a Power of Eight group for another CSL Focus Ministry. Reverend Victoria received her PhD in Modern Thought and Literature from Stanford University and completed her ministerial studies at Holmes Institute. She appears on the Science of Mind and Spirit lecture series on the New Thought Media Network. She has more than 45 years of teaching experience in the California State University and University of California systems, as well as private universities, Native American communities, and Homes Institute. Her ministry focuses on peace and the joy that accompanies it through inspired service. Help me welcome Reverend Dr. Victoria Bomberry.
Okay. Oh, I'm so happy to be here, and as you can tell, we all need a little help sometimes, right? And, you know, I had just a lovely time being shown around your beautiful community. And when I talked to Reverend Sharon, she said, oh, you'll love it there. And, you know, I do. It's such a welcoming place, and I really feel at home here. So thank you all so much. So my name is Reverend Dr. Victoria Bomberry, and I am so thrilled by that wonderful introduction. So I'm going to stand in that because it made me feel like, oh, is that me? So it's always so wonderful to be with communities throughout our CSL system. You know, we just have such a variety of communities, and every community has their own culture and their own way of doing things. And, you know, I've been at several centers that have the lighting of candles that we did this morning, and it is such a wonderful affirmation of what we believe at Centers for Spiritual Living about inclusivity and honoring all paths to God. So it is always heartwarming to me to be a part of that ritual. And, you know, I had a chance to meet people in Indian Wells in January instead of February that we usually meet. And, oh, it was so much fun. I just felt so good, and they were so warm and enthusiastic about your center. And, you know, I kind of invited myself in a way. I said, I'm always available to speak. You know, I come and visit you. So they were so wonderful to follow up and invite me here. So I am just so thrilled to be here. And like I said, this is my first visit up here. And I started out pretty early this morning. And I thought, well, it says I have this amount of time on Google to get there. And, you know, sometimes I don't trust Google. So I gave myself a little bit extra time. And then I drove and I drove and I drove and I thought, well, where is it? And I did arrive. And I saw a sign several miles down the road that said Apple Valley. And I thought, am I supposed to turn there? But I followed Google and I got here safe and sound. So thank you, Google. Lots of help this morning. So the theme of of the month is play, and the title of my talk is Too Busy. How about hug? And I noticed, I don't know when it went out, if it went out into the world, I noticed that I left the A out of about. And I thought, wow, okay, I can always tell when I slip into a more southern dialect, because I was born and raised in Oklahoma, and I spent a lot of time trying to get people to understand me when I was traveling around. My first trip to the East Coast, it was like, oh my goodness, you know, just this barrier of common language is pretty hard to overcome sometimes, right? And I would be asking people to spell things so I could understand what they were talking about, and they'd be saying, what? So I thought, well, I must have been either tired when I wrote that talk title, or I was super relaxed. So as we go through this talk today, if you hear me kind of drawling or having a little bit of twang in my talk, I'm probably excited and relaxed to be here with you. So I'm happy to see that people are feeling more comfortable these days with hugging family and friends. And we're family and friends here, right? So we're feeling this renewal after these couple of years of staying in, and being careful. And we're feeling that. That's sort of coming up. And, I know not all of us are big huggers either. My youngest grandchild has never been a big hugger. From the time, that's just how he is. He doesn't, he does more of a hit and run hug, right? So he'll just run up and kind of do this and then he's gone. And, we all have our own style, right, about hugging. And I know that the real hug that we are all yearning for is that hug of spirit, right? That hug of spirit. When we take time to commune with spirit, we relax into the warm embrace of the divine. So just take that in for a minute. Just think of relaxing into that warm embrace of the divine. Some mornings, I watch our CSL spiritual leader, Edward Viljoen, on Facebook. Has anyone seen him on Facebook? At 6 a.m. in the morning? Well, he does this beautiful, beautiful short contemplation. And it's right before dawn, 6 a.m., the sun's not up. It's that time that, the birds, maybe the earliest bird might be out chirping a little bit. But it's quiet. It's very quiet. The sun isn't up. It's kind of, things are, I think it's kind of a magical time, that time right before dawn, where it's not really dark, but it's not light yet. It's very magical. And he's sitting in this darkened room, and as he lights the candles, there is an atmosphere of such utter tranquility that you feel right at home. You feel like you can drop right into the presence of spirit. He does a short reading and invites us to contemplate that reading. And it is just such a sweetness and a wonderful time to spend getting your first hug. Now, we don't have to be with Edward Viljoen every morning. We can do that for ourselves, right? Have that quiet time before the day starts and really settle into acknowledging, that all in all, that is spirit. That I was listening to someone ask a question, and they were saying, well, I understand that consciousness is the substrate of all being. And I thought, yes, that's exactly what it is. Consciousness, God, that ever-creative spirit is where we begin. It's where we have our being. And that is always comforting and energizing and exciting. It's everything that we can imagine. In our Declaration of Principles, Ernest Holmes writes, we believe in the unity of all life and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. Now, living in close contact with indwelling spirit involves listening to intuition, that still small voice in the center of our being, And it requires silence and quietude to hear that. And we're called to get rest, right? That's part of a gift that we've been given. We've been given a gift that we can sleep in the evening and have that wonderful inner dream life and wake up refreshed and feeling really good. And we need those periods of rest, right? And that allows us to listen to the divine and come to that mystical union, which is really at the heart of all science of mind teachings. That's what we're going toward all the time, to feel that mystical union every moment of the day. And, you know, we fall out of that in the busyness of our lives, and we require rest to get back to that. And at each stage of life, we get busy. I'm going to do step exercise here and come out here with you. You know, at each stage of life, there's all kinds of busyness, right? If we think about children, sometimes I'll get really nostalgic for my own childhood, and I'll think, oh, wasn't that wonderful to do this and this and this? And it was. And, you know, when you learn to walk, I don't really remember learning to walk, but I do remember learning to talk and, you know, really wanting to say things and not being able to. And, you know, just getting really frustrated, right, when the words wouldn't form right, and, you know, really having to work toward it and busy myself with learning how to say that just the way it's supposed to be said. So it was, you know, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of busyness, right? And children are busy. They're super busy. And unfortunately, today we see that children are getting stressed out much earlier than we did. Most of us in this room are of an age that, you know, we had periods of play that were uninterrupted. And children today are getting stressed out. So they have that busyness in their life as well. And remember, think back when you were going into adolescence. You know, that's sort of like that same period of just learning how to walk and be a toddler, right? Only it's a lot more dangerous. And just think about how busy we were with school, with activities, with maybe some of you were in churches, maybe you were part of organizations. Just think about all that busyness, right? And going into young adulthood, learning how to be independent, maybe going to college, you know, doing all these things that we do. We live busy lives, right? So every stage of life may have a certain kind of content. You know, raising a young family, right? Going into family life. That brings its own type of busyness as well. And having a career, right? All of those things. We've been busy. And even now, if you happen to be retired, think about how busy you might be, right? And we have to make time for our rest. That period where we come back to who we are and rejuvenate by having that period of rest. And I don't know what you all do. I keep making this promise to myself that I will be in bed before midnight. And I usually will, I have an Apple Watch, right? So I have it set so it will say, start getting ready for bed, right? So it'll go off and it'll say, have your moment of quiet. So that's my reminder, okay, start getting ready for bed. And, you know, if I'm in bed by midnight, I'm really And if I get that 7 hours of sleep, I'm golden. Right? I'm golden. That doesn't always happen, but I am golden. And I believe in naps. I am a big believer in naps at all ages. You know, that was the best thing that we learned in kindergarten, wasn't it? How to nap. Roll those little mats out, just flop down, and rest. So we need that rest. We need that rest for our rejuvenation and to bring us back to a place where we are ready to receive and ready to give. So how do we, in this busy kind of world that we live in, and a lot of that busyness, we have some control over, right? We do. We have some control over it. So how do we make room for what I'm calling that warm embrace of spirit that we get in rest? And it's needed so that we can be fully present when Spirit calls. Spiritual practices throughout the world, and we heard all of these different spiritual practices spoken into our room this morning. They all emphasize times for rest. Both Judaism and Christianity have the Sabbath. And Ecclesiastes 4:6 reads, "Better is one handful of quietness than 2 hands full of toil and a striving after the wind." What a powerful statement that is. Toil and striving after the wind kind of sums up the expectation that American culture has cultivated from the days of the Puritan work ethic, that each year has increased in velocity and expectation. I talk with so many people who are working 60 hours plus per week. I talk to people who are working 2 and 3 jobs to be able to put a roof over their heads and to have the kind of life that they want to live, but they have no time for rest and no time for themselves and no time for their families. We've developed an ethos that is more is better, without ever questioning what we need more of. What do we need more of? More work? Do we need more plastic in our lives? I mean, just name it. Just look at all those things that just kind of proliferate because we think we have to have more. We would do good to remember the words of Gandhi. There is more to life than merely increasing its speed. Right? Given the moment we're living through right now, the words of Thomas Merton are particularly pertinent. There is a pervasive form of contemporary violence, and that is activism and overwork. The rush and pressure of modern life are a form, perhaps the most common form, of its innate violence. The frenzy of our activism neutralizes our work for peace. It destroys our own inner capacity for peace. It destroys the fruitfulness of our own work because it kills the root of inner wisdom, which makes work fruitful. Unquote. So we don't often think of the violence we are doing to ourselves when we overwork. Because we're looking, we may be chasing after status, or we may be chasing after that more and more. It also derails our intention to be working to embody a world that works for everyone, right? A world that is for everyone. If we are doing violence to ourselves, that can translate into doing violence to others as well. If we have an expectation of ourselves that we're doing something a particular way, oftentimes we project that on other people. And we expect that they have to live up to what we're doing, right? What we're doing. For example, we can be so adamant about peace that we become warriors for peace, to the point of inflicting physical violence on those who oppose our calls for peace. We become out of touch with the divine quality of peace altogether. Okay, so what do we do about all this? What if we take time to pause, to rest, to receive that hug from Spirit? We breathe, rejuvenate, and recharge so that we can give hugs to the world, not violence. And if you remember, when I was a young woman, I was very active. And, we like to hug people, right? We wanted love in the world. We had this song, about love and being open to Spirit that inspired us. And yet, a lot of us have gotten sucked into a different way of being, and we're coming out of it. And, I love that we have practitioners emeritus in our presence who have been holding this light for us for 20 plus years, right? Holding the light so that we can all come into this realization that we can always depend on Spirit for that warmth, for that touch, for that presence. Now, extended periods of rest, meaning like 12 to 24 hours straight, at least once per month, gives us time to dig into the delight and wonder of life. Lingering talks with good friends and family, sweet periods of meditation, prayer and self-reflection, time to be still and listen. Sabbath for Jewish people and Seventh-day Adventist people begins at sundown on Friday, and probably others too. Those are the two people that I know who practice Sabbath. And it begins at sundown on Friday and ends at sundown on Saturday. So that's about 24 or 25 hours of rest a week. So that's a nice extended period. This period of rest restores balance and allows us to be ready for the next period of activity. We have to fill the vessel, right, to overflowing so we can give. And let's resist the urge to be hyperactive. Let's resist it. If you feel yourself amping up, pause, take a breath. And remember, if you hyperventilate, right, just think about your breath. If you hyperventilate, what happens? You pass out, right? And it's the same with overwork. If you overwork, you get to the point of exhaustion. And that's a type of passing out. Now, Brene Brown says it takes courage to say yes to rest and play in a culture where exhaustion is seen as a status symbol Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? That is a status symbol for many people. And how many times have you read in your doctor's office a People magazine or one of those celebrity magazines that talks about the latest celebrity that has had to be hospitalized for exhaustion, right? And of course, you know, there's some glitter there, right? When we read that, oh, they're exhausted, they're so busy, they're exhausted. So we need to reinstate the ritual of rest. Are you ready to be courageous? Are you?
Yes.
Good. And we can find our own rhythm of activity and rest. There's a story of the Guarani of Paraguay and Bolivia who went on a long march, day after day, when all of a sudden they would sit down and rest for a while, and then make camp for a couple of days before going any further. They explained that they needed this time to rest, to let their souls catch up with their bodies. What if we incorporated this into our lives, recognizing our own individual rhythm, acknowledging when our souls need to catch up with our bodies? Our theme this year is living in everyday wonder, and nothing is more wonderful than resting in the one through powerful spiritual practice. Ernest Holmes writes, spiritual experience. Okay. I wrote this down wrong, so let me read it correctly. We can commune with spirit. I'm just going to paraphrase it. In the stillness. When the outer is quieted. So when we can listen to spirit, when we can be awake and present to spirit, there's a quickening of inner being that attunes us to inner reality. And what is that inner reality? The ultimate reality, where there is all peace and perfection. This quickening is the door to the mystical experience, the cosmic unitive experience of consciousness. There's only one mind, only one consciousness, and we can align with it. As we rest in the warm embrace of spirit, we are invited to become a revealer of truth. Intuition, as Ernest Holmes defines it, is the voice of God within. This deep knowingness removes all resistance to saying yes to the good that is God. It brings us peace and empowers us to live in peace with ourselves and all those around us. This week, practice resting in the warm embrace of spirit. Listen to the inner music of life everlasting. Tune your ear to the silence to feel its vibration and hear its sweet song. You might take a day for Sabbath, prepare a Sabbath meal, and just revel in it. Say a blessing. Share with friends and family. Shop for all those ingredients. Just revel in that entire experience. Play music. Turn off your phones and any other distraction. Take as much time as you like to prepare the meal, to taste, feel, smell each ingredient, every spice, every bread, every vegetable. Decorate your table with colorful placemats and candles. Say a prayer and give thanks to everyone who made this beautiful meal possible. When we do this, we see that we truly are one. We truly are interdependent on one another. We have time to honor ourselves and all the beings on earth. Enjoy your Sabbath. Take time for hugs all around, knowing that your hugs come from that deep well of spirit. So everyone, how about a hug?
Yeah.
Yes. And so it is.
So it is.
We got our hug. Thank you, Reverend Victoria. I just love that. Pause and rest so your soul can catch up with you. And it's cartoon picture of the soul trying to catch up with you. It's too busy. Beautiful. Thank you. This is our giving time. No, it's not. Back up. And Chris is going to introduce.
We have Richard Fox to come up and help me sing a song. Since St. Patty's Day was last in the middle of the week, hello, you are going to celebrate that. Richard's going to tell you what song it is.
May I perform from here?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Richard Fox. This is a short and beautiful song about a lullaby, an Irish lullaby. That's actually the title, an Irish lullaby, but some of you might know it by Tour Lure Lure. And it's in honor of St. Patrick's Day and also in honor of God. Thank you. Over in Killarney, many years ago, me mother sang a song to me in tones so sweet and low. Just a simple little ditty in her good old Irish way. And I'd give the world if she could sing that song to me this day. Lura, 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 hush, now don't you cry. Lura, 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 that's an Irish lullaby. Oft in dreams I wander to that cot again. I feel her arms a-hugging me as when she did back then. And I hear her voice a-humming to me as in days of yore, when she used to rock me fast asleep outside the cabin door. Lura, 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 lura.
Please take a moment to join me in appreciation for this community and our philosophy. We know we live in an abundant universe. There is always more than enough to share and to spare. We use this time to open up the floor. You can visit our website to make a donation. It's www.hi-desertcsl.org. Just scroll down to the donate button. Or you can drop off the donation anytime we're open throughout the week or mail it in. I want to thank our ushers today, and I want to thank you for supporting our center. Please join me in reading aloud our Declaration of Affirmative Giving. It's also located inside your program on the left-hand side. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. Thank you. And I'll invite our ushers to go ahead and start passing.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude in me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 I'm so grateful.
And we bless these gifts that are so generously given from the heart, knowing that they go forth to bless this center and the entire world. And we are grateful, so grateful.
And so it is. So I'd like to invite the practitioners up on stage. Our practitioner team is here to serve you. The prayer request box is in the garden room under the picture of Ernest Holmes. And our practitioners' phone numbers are on the back of your program. Please reach out to one of our experienced practitioners for prayer, especially if you are going through a challenge in your life. They are here to know the truth for you and are available after the service for spiritual support if you need prayer. And now I invite Lori to read our affirmation for the day.
So I'll read it one time and then you can repeat with me. Here it is. God's abundant good is mine right now. I accept it. I receive it and with love and gratitude. Let's say that together. God's abundant good is mine right now. I accept it. I receive it with love and gratitude. One more time. God's abundant good is mine right now. I accept it. I receive it with love and gratitude.
Wow, And now Reverend Victoria will give the benediction.
So let's turn within. Just taking that deep God breath, knowing that we are all unified in the presence of Spirit. We're in that warm embrace right now. And I'm blessing everyone who is in attendance today and all of those who are joining us online in that vast community that is ours. We are one with it. We are so grateful for it. And I'm blessing everyone as we go out to be active this week and get plenty of rest. We are recharged and reaffirming our right to have those times to commune with Spirit, to rest in its warm embrace. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you, Reverend Victoria. I want to thank you to all of you who have joined us in person and also to all of you online that have joined us today. We'll see you right here in person at the center and on HDCSL Live on YouTube every Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Have a great week, everyone. Take 5 minutes and we'll have the board meeting in the social hall. Thank you all for being here.